so I came back down here, and life hit me pretty quick. I was like, okay. My mom was like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, if you're gonna do all that, come back to Chicago. You're not being a charity case, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I gotta find a job. So I started substitute teaching
Mm-hmm.
in Petersburg, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, that'll get me by. That, you know, get me to pay bills, and so that led to me being a one-on-one counselor with this child in Peabody Middle School who tried to burn down the school. So they was like, yo, you're gonna be his one-on-one counselor. You know, we have a long-term position for you. You're gonna be his one-on-one counselor. And so that's how I got introduced to the mental health field. And so I started doing that, and then I was like, why do these kids, what, you know, what
The
would make
trigger.
them, you know, trigger them to think like this and do these things? And so, you know, I started researching that, and then I entered the mental health field with a degree in agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting jobs in the mental health field. And so this all leads me to how I got in the field. So it's one of our older frat brothers. I'm gonna omit his name, but one of our older frat brothers,
Mm-hmm.
he had a business, and about a year prior to that, we were all partying up in a club, and he came to me and he was like, "Yo, man, yeah, can you buy me a drink?" I got you, bro. Speed it up, a year and a half, 2 years later, they in fitted suits, you know what I'm saying? Looking snazzy, driving Benzes, and so I'm like,
Wait a minute, I
what
just bought
happened?
you a drink, right?
Yeah, what happened? A year ago, you was asking me to buy you a drink, and now, you know, I never knew what buying buying a bar up meant to,
Right.
you know, and I'm like, what happened? And so I found out that he opened up a mental health company. And so my ignorance at the time, thinking that, okay, if he can do it, I know I can do it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? My ignorance kind of led to me starting a business in the mental health field. And so I just started going down the rabbit hole, and okay, I submitted this and submit that, and I'm thinking it's easy. But I've gotten so far down this path that I'm like, okay, now I'm invested, right?
Right.
I haven't learned how to write policies, this, that, and the other. And in 2007, finally, after a lot of hard work and getting over barriers, and finally opened up our first business, right?
Mm-hmm.
150 square foot office
Mm-hmm.
with a fax machine, 3 desks,
Wow.
you know what I mean? And started from there. And I literally sobbed when the lady said, "We're licensing you." You know what I mean? You're licensed, you have a business. I'm like, wow, because it was so much hard work
To get to
to that
that point.
point. And so now being like an official entrepreneur, you know, some of my frat brothers and sisters, like a lot of these people that have businesses, they came and worked for me initially. And it was good to help them out, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, but I had no clue what I was doing, right? Didn't know about a P&L, a balance sheet, didn't know about, you know, I just knew I'm a business owner
This is what
now,
you
you
want to
know,
do,
this is
right?
mine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and still young at this point, I think I'm mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another story about how I met my wife and why I married my wife, because she was very pivotal in helping me get to that point. And so, you know, I always tell people, now she wasn't shooting in the gym with me. She built the gym I was shooting in, right? And, you know, that was, she was, but, you know, that's for a different story. But so, got this business, don't know what I'm doing, trying to figure it out, you know, made a lot of mistakes. So a lot of my success come from trial and error, you know, not textbook, you know, not, and I had mentors along the way, but more or less, okay, I failed. Okay, I can't do it like this. You know, let me try it this way, and learning on the fly, right?
Yes.
And one thing I committed to myself, and even to this day, is like each year, I feel like I want to be smarter than the year before.
Right.
So it's a lot of reading, a lot of research, and a lot of um, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Right.
I love to be around people that have been where I'm trying to go, right? And
Right.
so just learning and getting better at my craft uh, each year, and not only getting better, but reaching back and helping other people get to that point. You know, there's numerous of people that, you know, I have, okay, this is how you help, whether it's giving them policies, whether it's giving them advice that I'm, you know, trying to bring up with me, because I think that's important too, because somebody help me
Right.
as well. And so, you know, as I kind of got into business, you know, uh, let me see, 37. So roughly around uh, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, I felt like I was on the top, right? I
Mm-hmm.
was making a lot of money. Um, I was able to buy my mom a house. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my father passed away at this point, so I brought my mom up here to Virginia. I bought her a house, you know, and I'm feeling good. And everything's like you couldn't tell me nothing. The
Right.
swagger, you know what I mean? The cars,
Yeah.
you know. At this point, I had my son,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a big road bump in business where I went from being on the mountaintop to losing it all, you know, to the point of almost bankruptcy, right?
Wow.
And, you know, it almost broke me because, you know, the what I went through, you know, it just taught me a valuable lesson that easy come, easy go, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was important that I married the wife I had, because she's not with me because of what I have. You know, she's with me because we're in a partnership. We're a team, right? And the people around me. So I was able to get through that, almost losing it all. You know what I mean? And then had to rely on my my uh, uh, my past experiences. I had to rely on prayer and faith, and, you know, families, and, you know, friendships. You know, numerous amount of people that I can, you know, name that helped me navigate through that tough time. So 2014, I start all over, right? And so you're talking about coming from a place where I have 50, 60 employees, you know, company doing a couple million, 3, 4 million plus in
Mm-hmm.
revenues. Um, you know, got properties, vehicles, you know, to running up a huge amount of debt to try to manage everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go from there to start all over, right? So now I don't have employees to go back out there and say, listen, I need you to do, I need you to do. I'm starting back from
Right.
scratch.
Right.
And I started back in 2014 uh, on the ground level, but I had different philosophies now. I had something that was better than money. I had the knowledge, the know-how, you know what I mean? I had my experiences from where I fell to shape what I was going to do, you know, moving
What your
forward.
next step was going to be.
And
Mm-hmm.
so from there, I have this, what I call healthy paranoia.
Okay.
So I have this healthy paranoia that now it's real.
Mm-hmm.
What I've accumulated, it could be taken away like that. And even with the pandemic, you see like people that were doing extremely well are not right now, right?
Yes.
But that period of time prepared me for this time,
Right.
because now I'm much more aware, okay, of how I spend, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm investing in, you know, being very cautious, you know, not only because of that experience, but also because of my family, right?
Yes.
I can't put my family, I can't afford to be as risky as I was before. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, I had to start all over, and I started my company with the idea of, uh, I started my company with the idea of focusing on people, not profits.
Okay.
Um, Not trying to build, not focus on the bottom line, but focus on building people,
Mm-hmm.
focus on culture, the environment, what we're doing as a team, being a true family environment and things like that. And that has kind of, and then I felt like if I did that, the money will follow.
Yes.
And that has absolutely been the case. Absolutely been the case. And so, you know, I'm not focused on, you know, I'm focused on building up people and helping them accomplish their goals, being invested in, in their future as well. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And knowing that by doing that, you know, everything's going to happen, come back tenfold.
Yes.
And so then, you know, we get into, because of those experiences that allowed me to think, okay, I need to diversify. I can't have all our eggs in one basket. I have to look at multiple streams
Mm-hmm.
of income.
Income.
I have to look at protections, and the way I move now is totally different than the way I used to move. You know, the investments and the risk that I take are much more calculated. Uh, and so, even facing this pandemic, you know, God bless both of all of the businesses that I'm in are
Yeah.
essential.
Yeah.
We're still able to, you know, but then looking back and seeing, okay, how can we help, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I heard this saying with wealth, the W stands for wisdom, the E stands for education, the
Mm-hmm.
A stands for access, right? Because you got to
Mm-hmm.
have access. The L stands for learning. You continuously have to learn. The T stands for teaching, and the H stands for health. And with wealth, as long as you're paying attention to that right there, and making sure, you know, as successful as you are, it's always important to reach back and help somebody else, you know, and give them some tools, you know,
Yeah.
to help them, you know, move forward as well. And uh, before 20 post, I mean pre 2013, I was helping people open up mental health businesses, but I was charging them, right, a percentage of the company and things like that.
Yeah.
Post now it's kind of like, yo, if you need help, come to me. I help you out, because I believe that if you help, things will always come around.
Yeah.
Uh, um, uh, you know, the reaping
Back
and
to you.
sowing method.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, I do that, and I'm I'm more at this point in my life just invested in people. You know, money is nothing more than a tool.
Yes.
It's not. It doesn't bring you joy. It doesn't bring you happiness. It's nothing more than a tool to kind of maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people
It's
are
energy.
yeah. People are our biggest assets.
Yes.
And once people start to understand that, the relationships,
Mm-hmm.
keeping good relationships, keeping good friendships, treating people right, you know, that's what's going to sustain you throughout. Uh, that's what's going to sustain you throughout your in my opinion,
Yeah.
your business career. It's not money, right? Because
Yeah.
in this pandemic, you know, my team is saying, you know, Mr. Hudson, you know, we with you, this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. It's the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, money is only going to get as far as your pocketbook goes. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But you know, those relationships are lasting. So you know, that's kind of my philosophy, and where I've come, and where I'm going. To that point, I'm kind of probably like 10 times in a better situation than I was in 2014, right? But there's
Mm-hmm.
still this paranoia that I know it can be taken like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know it can. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody hasn't experienced that, they move different, right?
Right.
You get to the point where you feel like you're invincible.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell people, and I tell my friends, like, listen, man, we're only one lawsuit away,
Right.
one employee away of doing something,
To
one
change your
pandemic
life.
away. You can't get up on a high horse where you feel like it can't be taken from. Still enjoy yourself and do certain things, but also keep in mind that this can be taken away from you, and the things that are important are not tangible. It's kind of like things provide temporary satisfaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
My pops used to always say, happiness is based on happenings, but joy lasts forever, right? And
Yes.
so joy is for your soul. And so, looking at trying to have joy rather than this temporary happiness,
Yeah.
is more what I'm focused on, and what's important to me at this juncture. Seeing my kids healthy, seeing my kids and my wife and my family happy is important.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you see like Steve Jobs, one of the greatest minds and innovators all time.
Mm-hmm.
He had pancreatic cancer.
Right.
It's no respective person, right?
No.
So
Right.
trying to get back on my health kicker and remain healthy,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that's a part of wealth as well. So
Right. Right. So could you say that, would it be safe to say that faith has been sort of a metronome for your entire journey as well, especially having that period of time where you did lose everything and having to build from the ground up?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I know that I couldn't do. Uh, I know it's not from my own doing. Like, I didn't pull myself up by my own bootstraps. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that smart. I'm not that intelligent where it was me. You know what I mean? So uh, I know where my help comes from. I know it was God that guided me and helped me through that process, and my faith that got me through, and my family that supported me uh, through it. And the reality is, I'm still young.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be more roadblocks ahead. There's going to be more challenges ahead.